What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we just generally give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I am joined as always by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meon.
What Gregorian chant is this?
Wrong immediately, but I've run out of ways to do it.
There's only so many syllables, to be fair. But yeah, you are joined by Shaun Meon. That's me.
Yeah.
Co-host of this podcast.
Co-host of the podcast, and also the man who always does Marvel characters, and I always do DC characters.
That's it. What we usually do is we take one of those characters from one of those respective companies, and we just give everyone a bit of a rundown about everything to do with that character, Connor. Now
it's interesting, because last week, Shaun, you fucked up the system.
I did.
Because you did the world's worst character dupe.
I duped you might say.
I mean, you could say that, but also no. but the world's worst X-Force character, who is a being, but also the most powerful being in all of the universe.
Very powerful
being. He's the most powerful being in all of the universe.
But he also looks like a bean, so like you'd be forgiven for saying the other one.
Yeah. And so you came out with that to to end 2021. So I thought it was only fitting for the start of 2022 to perhaps find a DC character that is along the same line.
Good God, no.
I didn't want to start off with someone good, because you can't follow dupe. Dupe is hard to follow with someone good.
Absolutely.
So I chose a character who... What have I told you, Shaun? I have a DC character who's a combination of, I would say, Iron Man and Gambit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Otherwise known as Gunfire. I know what you're thinking, Shaun. What's Gunfire's powers? Well, I'll tell you.
Guns?
He can create anything and make anything in the whole world into a gun.
Wait, how does he make anything into a gun?
He can make anything into a gun, Shaun.
But that's just Gambit's power, then.
He can turn any object into a lethal implement of destruction.
You're describing Gambit, Connor.
No, I'm describing Gunfire.
But okay, so does Gunfire have the power to manipulate kinetic energy by any chance?
I feel like you're just making up things. You're throwing things in, and you're just trying to... You know what you're trying to do?
What?
You're trying to jump on my report and
Not
really trying to make it your own, right? And this isn't a Marvel shit Gambit report. This is cool-ass Gunfire report.
Gunfire? Well, I don't... Do you support guns, Connor?
A superhero who can make anything a gun. That's just cool.
Is this superhero around, like, in the modern day, or was this, like, back when guns were all right?
1993.
Peak gun time.
Created by Len Wein and drawn by Steve Irwin. Gunfire
the Crocodile
was part
Hunter.
Not the... Irwin starts with an E.
Right.
Was part of DC Comics' 1993 annual crossover event, Bloodlines, which was a plot device to expand the superheroes of the DC universe, Shaun.
Okay.
Now, I know what you're thinking. How did they expand it? How did they add the superheroes? Well, what if I told you Xenomorphs, but kind of DC version?
No. Is this when Batman fought the Predator?
I don't really... It might be along the same timeline, yeah. They're doing crossovers for everything.
I think that was around the early 90s, but yeah, I get you. That, like... So wait, this man gets his powers from the alien from Alien?
No. From an alien like the Xenomorph, because Alien was big.
Right.
And so DC didn't want to get sued. So... It's not an alien that sucks on your face.
Yeah.
It just takes your spinal fluid. Just simple, effective.
Sure, that's great. I have a tap in the back. Easy access.
You're just like, Shaun, may I have a little bit of the fluid?
Oh, Maureen, you're all right now. You untapped me there.
Andrew Van Horn is his name. Mm-hmm. Andrew Van Horn's great-grandfather began a highly successful munitions company known as Van Horn Industries, Shaun, shortly after World War II.
Right.
His father, Gunter, which, I mean, makes sense,
Yeah.
moved
Gun
the base
Van
of
Horn.
Gun Van Horn to the base of operations to Paris, France. Upon graduating from college, Andrew Van Horn came to work at his family's company. So Big Andrew's in. Now Andrew's our hero, Shaun.
Okay.
Andrew believed that for Van Horn Industries to survive into the next century, they would have to enter into other industries rather than simply arms manufacturing, and sought to transition Van Horn Industries to more ecological products.
Okay, so this is literally Tony Stark.
What are you talking about? He's Gunfire.
The son of a weapons manufacturer transitions to
link.
more peaceful means of production.
No.
Not ringing a bell? No.
I do not see the connection you're making. I think you're just making up connections, to be honest.
No, well, look, okay, sorry, maybe I'm drawing parallels where there are none. I'm sure...
This is a completely unique character that isn't like any character ever.
93, you say, that this character
Yeah.
was first published. Right, okay, so
Yeah.
not like the 60s when Iron Man came out. Couldn't have
No, but that
possibly
was-
be connected.
Yeah, but like Batman was created in the 30s. Like, it's not like Batman either. Like, he's the antithesis of Batman. He loves guns.
Well, like King Midas was created in Greek times. So like,
Exactly.
there you go.
He has no he has as much connection to Superman as he does to whatever shitty Iron Man, Gambit, blah, 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 whatever shit Marvel characters you want to throw at this guy. Right? This guy is unique. His own thing. Nothing like them.
Absolutely fair, Connor. But, sorry, before you continue, just on this point, I just want to gauge. I found a wiki recently, and it's about the world of public domain superheroes. Would people be interested in a report on just superheroes that literally anyone can use and adapt into whatever they want?
No way, that's so cool.
It's actually class. Like the idea of like Swamp Thing or Man Thing, as the Marvel version would call it.
Of course.
That's a public domain superhero. Like the idea of a swamp monster.
We could make our own. The Heroes for Hire Swamp Monster.
Okay, I'm going to get working on that. But sorry.
Okay.
Also, what's this dude's name?
Gunfire.
Gunfire. Sorry, I knew it was.
Jesus.
No, sorry. I knew it was like a situation that you could be in, and I thought his name was Wartime for some reason.
All he does is he eats rations. That's his power. However, he was disappointed, Shaun, that his father dismissed his ecological approach to the gun-making industry. Now, it was during this time that and I think you're going to like where this detour takes us. It was during this period, so this is all going on in the background, over on the other side of Paris, just an alien bloodlines parasite known as Venev.
No, you're trying to gloss over that now, but if I mentioned that in a report, you would absolutely rinse me.
I don't understand what you're talking about. There's just a bunch of bloodline parasites, and one of them's known as Venev.
Okay, what's Venev's deal? What's he about?
He gets trapped in the cargo area of an aeroplane.
Really?
And was transported to Paris, Shaun.
Right, okay.
In a Home Alone style situation.
Home Alone style stowaway situation. What is he like? An actual like alien, or is it like a goo?
Venev is actually a she. He's an alien.
I didn't mean to assume gender to an alien. I'm very sorry.
Absolutely. Emerging and eager to feed, Shaun. She sensed one very powerful person in the airport currently trying to catch their own flight, and that prime target was Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke the Terminator was in the airport in Paris.
My God. Is Deathstroke the Terminator, you say?
Deathstroke the Terminator.
Right, okay. Sorry, I hadn't heard that name in a while. Right, so now you have an alien, let's call it a symbiote, that has attached...
If you wanted to, but I wouldn't. But, I mean, that's copyright. That's really... I just want to stress...
Right.
It's copyright to copy off ideas of other characters already in production.
And we're not suggesting that anyone would ever do that. But what we have here is an alien from another world has attached itself to a very powerful comic book character in order to gain more power, you would say.
And the character has a father involved in the arms industry but wants to take it away from the arms industry.
That's true. And so DC, after creating this brand new character...
Oh, they smashed it. They all took lunch early. I'm
assuming they just rested on their laurels, never did anything else in the 90s, like...
I think someone just knew James Cameron. It's like, lads, I have an idea. So, the alien senses Deathstroke in the airport and is like, that's the prime target for her to feed on because it's the most powerful being there.
Yeah.
Wilson had recently suffered severe damage to his uniform and sought a replacement from Gunter Van Horn, who was an old friend of his. So he turned up so he's going off to Van Horn Industries in Paris. So he lands in the airport. He gets in a car. He drives to Van Horn Industries. Veneve, alien, so, nothing like James Cameron's version, but very similar.
It's Ridley Scott's Alien, just for what it's worth.
Aliens. Aliens.
Alien isolation.
So the alien follows him, I should say, to the factory, where she promptly begins a massacre of everyone working in the factory currently, slaying numerous employees and draining them of their spinal fluids.
I mean, look, we've all had a thirst for spinal fluid that can only be quenched by several factory workers.
That's my chest tattoo. Where's the spinal fluid, ma?
Give me the spinal fluid. You can't handle the spinal fluid, I said to the judge.
You've had enough spinal fluid, lad. Go home.
Go home, you don't want this. So, what's this, like, and this might be beyond the scope of the report, what's the significance of the spinal fluid? Is that just, like, the best nutrients? Right,
but they feed on.
So is their world just evolved to have lakes full of spinal fluid?
That's just how that's where they get their power.
Well, sorry, I'm not well travelled. What can I say?
You'd have to be fairly well travelled. So slaying numerous employees and draining them of their spinal fluid, Shaun. Among her victims were both Gunter and Andrew. Who were both left for dead.
Right. Not looking great for the rest of this report, Connor.
Hearing the disturbance, Slade comes back into the factory after hearing the disturbance. I'm sure Maddie screams. Maddie is like, oh my god, make it stop. She's sucking my spinal fluid.
Oh no, my spinal fluid, they all shout.
He just like slowly closes the door behind him.
It's like, no, it must have been the wind.
So Wilson comes back into the factory to find Gunter and Andrew's bodies and took it upon himself to avenge his fallen friend. So he's like, now Slade's after the alien.
Okay, bad news for the alien. But Slade genuinely considers Gunter a friend.
Well, he's been making his suits for years.
I suppose, yeah. But I would have, even still, knowing what I know about Slade, I would have thought, like, it's a business associate.
I think Van Horn makes the best suits. Like, the best technological suits. That'll come in handy now in a few seconds. I like
sometimes
the
foreshadowing is obvious.
I'd like the majority of the victims. Andrew was not only revived from his near death, but his dormant meta-human powers were
off.
activated as a result, Shaun.
I want to complain, right? Because the DC metahuman thing is bullshit. How there's... Now, I need you to hear me out as I said a sentence, because I'm going to remedy it right away.
I could just come back with mutant gene.
This is it.
Whatever you're
This is
say.
it. No, because in the DC universe, the metahuman gene just presents whenever it's convenient, and it's bullshit. However, I will acknowledge the X gene in Marvel is exactly the fucking same.
It's the exact same thing. It's just literally, it's the equivalent of all comic books. Acid falls on them, or they fall. You gotta watch where you fall.
Literally, and the X-Men were created because Stan Lee was tired of writing origin stories. So he decided, no, they're just born with powers.
Simple and effective. And I mean, the old classic is, no matter what comic is, they had it in them, but it was only when they were in grave danger that it showed.
Only in times of peril do they rise to the occasion.
So his friends became worried about his prolonged absence. This is Andrew, by the way. And they discovered him wounded, dazed and confused, along with the body of his father. Grief-stricken at his father's death, Andrew armed himself with numerous weapons and donned an armoured battlesuit.
By God. Oh, so okay. So is he... Okay. So, okay, I'm connecting the dots here. So Andrew had access to... presumably the designs and materials involved in Slade Wilson Deathstroke's suit, as well as a similar level of firearms. Am I correct in that?
And now he has metahuman abilities as well.
Which allow him, I can only assume, to be a very effective form of vengeance upon his father's killers.
Well, he sought to hunt down his father's killer, and instead encountered the suited-up Deathstroke on the trail himself.
Right.
Mistaking Deathstroke as the killer. Andrew, which I don't know how you would do that if you were attacked by the alien originally, unless it caught him by surprise.
Unless, it snuck up on him, which I assume an alien can do.
Stealth.
But once you know your spinal fluid's been drained, surely that's not Deathstroke's MO, surely.
I like in this scenario, he's like checking his body parts, like legs, arms. What's my level of spinal fluid? Like an oil in a car. He puts his dipstick in the back.
He's just checking. He wipes it off, dips it in. Oh, that's low.
Puts it up his arse. Oh no, that's too fucking low, boy. That's low.
Actually, that is how you would check it, because gravity. Yeah,
you would, exactly. And so he thinks that somehow Deathstroke, because he's the one that killed his father, and he attacks him, and is actually briefly able to gain the upper hand when his metahuman power to agitate molecules reveal themselves, Shaun.
Okay, okay, you're speaking to the bullshit comic book part of me. Agitating molecules, Connor.
He blasted a barrage of explosive bursts from a knife towards Deathstroke.
So he made a knife explode.
A gun. He made a knife a gun.
Holy shit, that's actually class. Because
gunfire, Shaun.
On a physics level, agitating molecules means you can do basically anything. So you can make gunshots. You can also you can just make fire, I'm assuming?
Yes. Once the knife's molecules were exhausted, though, the blade crumbled into dust because it was used up.
There's only so many molecules in a knife, as the old saying goes.
It's all simple science, Shaun. Catch up.
I'm with you, Connor.
Andrew was left unarmed at that point, and he was swiftly defeated by Deathstroke. No. He was swiftly defeated once he had no more knives that were guns. He didn't know at this point that he could make anything a gun. He just thinks, wow, I've made this knife a gun.
Okay, so he didn't know that he could just pick up a flower and suddenly it's a gun.
Exactly. So convincing Andrew that he was not responsible, the pair combined forces to track down and destroy the alien. Although they were able to wound the monstrous alien, she chose to flee rather than continue to fight, bringing down a building to cover her escape. Clever.
Classic move.
That's a classic alien escaping the room move to cover their tracks.
Just this building. It's gone now. No,
They
no,
burnt
it's a
the car
diversion.
out. There's no fingerprints.
They took the building out to a field and covered it with petrol.
Adopting the moniker of Gunfire, Andrew would ultimately travel to Metropolis in his pursuit of the alien parasites, along with many of the New Bloods or other victims / survivors of the aliens who all gained meta-human powers.
Right. Okay, so these people have all had contact with... God, the word symbiote is still sticking in my head, Connor.
Look, to make it clearer, they brought a bunch of aliens in to suck all the spinal fluid out of people, but then 7 people all survived because all their meta-human genes kicked in and they all somehow lived, and now they have 7 new heroes and a big bad that they can all defeat.
Right, and is there some kind of school that they all study in while they wait in between fighting crime?
It's run by Professor Y. Every time anyone turns up, what are you doing here? What's going on?
Oh, why is his mutant power to be a philosopher? Oh, fuck.
He's always looking out the window. We shouldn't ask how. We should ask why we do these things.
What if we're all just shadows on a cave or something?
Yes, Professor. Now look at me turn this chair into a gun.
Pew pew, says I.
Pew pew. So all the New Bloods all aided in the ultimate destruction of the aliens. Now, he's defeated the aliens. Andrew doesn't know what to do with himself, because remember, this is only a 14-issue run, so I don't have a lot on Andrew. Afterwards, Andrew would assume control of Van Horn Industries, and Andrew decided to move the corporate headquarters to New York, and discovered that his father, surprise, surprise, had been involved in numerous shadowy arms dealing and unethical weapons research.
Oh, you hate it when it happens to an arms dealer of all people.
Yeah, like maybe the plot of a certain movie that kicked off the MCU, but that's nothing like this.
No, but look, 2008 was a great time for us all, Connor.
Long time.
But
this is nothing like the plot of The Dark Knight. I must admit, it's absolutely nothing like it.
It's completely different.
They're completely different, Shaun. I don't have that thrown at me.
But look, I don't want it to be said that I'm a Marvel fanboy. I think, if anything, Iron Man 2008 has copied from the comic book origin of Gunfire in a lot of ways. And
I feel like, and I don't want to throw this out there too willy-nilly.
Right. Safe space.
X-Men. Rogue. Gambit. All of their storylines, everything they've ever done in canon, is basically copying this.
I think he's hit the nail on the head there, listeners. It hurts me to admit it. I'll tell you that for nothing now. But
Gambit 1960 origin, this 1993. But no, this came first, really, in our hearts. Now, seeking to redeem Van Horn Industries as Gunfire, he would track down and destroy terrorists, who his father had sold illegal weapons to.
God, look, I know I'm doing a bit, Connor. It's very
other menaces
very
emerged,
like Iron Man, isn't
it? To confront him, who were all high-tech criminals. High-tech criminals,
you say?
High-tech criminals and terrorists. Maybe one they called the Mandarin. No, who had been outfitted by Van Horn Industries. Oh, fuck!
They're using his own technology against him. Imagine the scenes.
You never see that.
There's never repercussions for this kind of thing.
Even as Andrew sought to transform Van Horn Industries from munitions to other benevolent projects, his own family relations sought to secretly dissuade him.
Oh no!
And maybe, send him back to doing the bad stuff, sending weapons out to terrorists, and so on and so forth, Shaun.
God, I didn't agree with you until you said so forth, and now it's all coming together.
Also, his father came back as a villain known as Ragnarok, but he had gone insane, and he was forced to kill his father once more.
Ragnarok, okay. So Ragnarok is in like end of days kind of thing, Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Killed his
cool
father.
name.
So so his whole mission originally was to avenge his father's death at the hand of aliens, and then he ended up killing his own father anyway because he was evil and back from the dead.
Yeah, his spinal fluid was sucked, but he was full of metahuman powers.
Oh, he's got to suck that fluid, you know.
Around the time of the final crisis, Shaun, this brings my report to an end. Van Horn was active with the Blood Pack once again. After a character was killed by Prometheus, who we have covered, who is a very powerful, very cool villain.
Busted, power level. Like, basically
so
defeated the Justice League.
Prometheus running through people. He's on a citywide destruction of all superheroes, and they keep trying to stop him. He's just running through them. And the Blood Pack went on a citywide chase across the rooftops, tracking him down, only to be ambushed by the genuine Prometheus again. In the attack, Prometheus attacked Van Horn and, Shaun,
don't do this.
Cut his hands off.
Fuck!
Before teleporting away.
He disarmed him.
Literally. Although Van Horn likely survived, it probably means the end of his heroic career, as he can no longer turn anything into a gun.
No, he just now has to, I suppose, use his power and influence to achieve peace in the world.
Maybe build a suit. I'm not quite sure.
Some kind of suit.
Powers and abilities.
Yes.
Gunfire possesses the power to agitate the atoms of any form of matter and cause a chain reaction which turned an object's molecular mass to be explosively expelled at concussive bursts.
Right, so could he do that with a flower, Connor?
Yes.
Could he do that with a bird?
Yes.
Could he do it with a Tesla?
No. Unfortunately, Elon Musk has made it gun-proof.
Ah, God. That bastard.
Damn
He's
you,
done
Musk.
it again.
Imagine Gunfire in the middle of a battle. Like, he picks up a flower, he fires it. He picks up a bird, he runs over to the Tesla, goes to fire it. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
God.
I just bought Dogecoin? What the fuck?
That's how Prometheus caught him.
That's a great power. First of all, it is. I would wager it's different enough from Gambit, because Gambit doesn't use the atoms of things. It's just like he can throw something really hard. So manipulating atoms is quite impressive.
He can also make things into bombs. So he can make things a gun or a bomb.
Okay, so why isn't he called Bombfire then, Connor?
Because he's Gunfire. That's just what he's cool about. He can make anything a gun.
And can he make a dog a gun?
Yes.
Can he make a dog a bomb?
My question to you is a dog made of atoms?
Yes, but it's also made of love.
It's also made of atoms, and he can make atoms into bombs.
Okay, what about air? Can he make air into bombs?
I think there's atoms in air.
There's probably atoms. Physicists. I know you're listening.
That's really getting into the depth of, like, couldn't he just blow up the whole world at that stage? But
that's the thing.
That's comic book, like, they're not going to go that deep.
Because there's atoms in, like, the Earth's crust, surely. So just explode
I feel like most of the time he just picked up a stick. It's like, that's a gun now.
This is one of those characters that has, like, literally, like, a broken level of power if you think about it, but never uses it.
Yeah. So one disadvantage to his molecular agitation is that he is utilising the atoms and molecules of the object as his ammunition. So over time, the object disintegrates. If it's not very big. So you might get one tiny blast with a flower, but if he had a big fucking car, he can fire that like 10 times.
Right, so the more atoms in something. Wait! This might be beyond the scope of this show. People are surely made of atoms.
Yeah, he could turn you into a gun.
Can he turn a man into a gun until that man disintegrates?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Gunfire!
That's horrifying. It's like, you know, Marty McFly in Back to the Future when he's fading away at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Yeah.
It's that, but you're a gun and you're killing all your friends.
Imagine being a villain coming up against him like, haha, you're like running a monologue and he just picks you up and he just starts shooting all your henchmen with you.
Like, because Superman's made of atoms. Like,
Kill Superman in a second. Turn Superman into a bomb, blow him up.
he can make Superman explode himself from the inside.
Yeah, and I bet Superman's crammed full. Henry Cavill's crammed full of atoms.
Oh, there's more atoms in that man than there is
if
in the entire world.
he's trying to be like ultimately powerful, he's picking up the Rock, and he's just firing him around the place.
See, that's the thing. But also in like a torture scenario, right? So could you explode organs individually?
Yes.
So he just explodes one lung. Like,
Once again, didn't go that deep. He just he can
14
make
issues.
guns.
Yeah.
He's a character that can make guns from thin air.
No, but he could explode your kidneys and just leave you in the street to die.
I think that's another level. That's like the series episode of Misfits with the guy with the milk.
Yes.
Yeah. He also wears a lightweight protective suit of armour. This armour is bulletproof and, has an inner layer that absorbs impact. And, you know how it is. He just wears an Iron Man suit. He wears a suit made of iron. Sorry, I just misspoke there.
He's a man.
He's a man in a suit made of iron, and he has powers that are similar to other characters involving putting energy blasts into objects.
And fair play to him. Look, it's not an easy thing to do well. I would say.
He also later added a pair of rocket pods to his hips that enabled him to fly for short periods.
So, here's the thing. That's all well and good, Connor.
Pretty cool.
Oh, very, very cool. Enough to build a franchise on, I would say.
They're 31 movies deep, and it's all because of Gunfire.
The Marvel Universe, but Robert Downey Jr. plays Gunfire instead.
Imagine little rocket pods at the sides, and he just flies for short periods, and then he's just blowing shit up as he's up there.
I'd watch it. And
I would.
I challenge any man who says they wouldn't.
I'm just bringing you DC's best.
Look, it's a good start to the year. I mean, how will we ever top Gunfire?
With no context, that sounds a bit creepy. I think you're put on a list.
Think so? Look, no NSA agents listen to this. Surely they're too busy listening to conspiracy theories.
Oh, good. Well, how can we top Gunfire? Just like you getting tackled.
FBI, open up.
Shaun, what do you think of my Gunfire character?
To be fair, I think that's a really cool power. It's very 90s in that it's just scientific enough to not be quote unquote comic booky.
There's also a character called Codpiece whose dick is a rocket.
Okay, now
that's just something you can't know.
Connor, you can't just drop that at minute 33
I can
of
do
the podcast.
a report on Codpiece, but he doesn't appear in that many issues, but his dick is a gun.
Right, well, I have a character called Teabagger who would like to meet you.
Like, think of a dude, he's in his suit, and he just has a big rocket on his dick. Like a
pocket
bazooka.
rocket, you might call it.
No, well, it was a bazooka, but I think he's overcompensated.
Was it? God, fair play to him. Fair fucks to him.
Shaun, I think that's it for this week's Hero or Zero.
We're ending it on that. Okay. Okay, would you like me to take us out, Connor?
Yeah, sure, why not? This is a good start to 2022.
It can only go up, lads, honestly.
It can only go up.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Hero or Zero. We hope you listen with your families and elderly relatives. We will be back on Monday with Movie Mondays, Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, and Friday with another episode of Hero or Zero. Big thanks to everyone who supports us over on the Patreon. That's linked below, patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. There's also a Facebook page at Heroes for Hire Pod. No, sorry, that's the Twitter. At Heroes for Hire Pod, the 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Heroes for Hire Podcast, our Detective Divilment's discussion group. There's 2 of them available to you. You can also email us, heroesforhire_@outlook.com. But the best way to ever help out the show, there's actually two ways I want to mention. One, the usual, tell one human being that we exist. The second is leave a like and a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Something that Spotify only recently introduced. So that would be a big help if you could do that there, if you do have to be listening there. But look, just listening is enough. We really appreciate it. And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I have been Ciara Lawler.
I have been confused for the majority of this, but I've also been Shaun.
We shall see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.